This is a Powerworks podcast short with Glenn Power and me, James Pikeway. This morning, of course, we're all on Disney Plus.
No.
And we're all watching the Star Wars shows. No, you're not.
No.
You're not a Star Wars guy?
No. I was the only person in my A-level physics class that didn't watch it, and then it became a principle.
It's a really big thing in our house because my boys, my oldest, is so engrossed in Star Wars to the point he's graduated finally. He was on the 7-year plan. I know. He's graduated. You don't know how good as parents we feel. One, that our child who was on the 7-year plan has graduated. And truth be told, he did that thing that makes every parent and child cringe in their studies. 3/4 of the way through, which added years to the plan, said, I think I want to drop out of a program. And it's like, right, because all you're thinking is investment in that education and what you want to drop out. You're like, no, I don't want to drop out. I just want to change programs. And it was like, okay, yeah, change, do it. And it was like, wait, you don't mind? It's like, I don't want you to drop out. Yeah. So he's finally finished. And as a gift, we said, you know what we'll do? I'm going to take you to Disney, and we're going to take you to the Star Wars experience. He's such a fan. Not only is this is booked, we're doing it. We're taking him, and not the youngest because he's busy, he's working, and he's going, really? No. Disney, yeah, I don't mind going to Disney. Disney's always fun because we're a Disney family. But he says, yeah, I can live without the Star Wars, thanks. So, and he says, another time. So we're taking the oldest. He's booked himself in for a lightsaber workshop with the age being 5+. So
destroying little kids.
So I'm thinking, hold on. You're 20+ and you're like super excited. It's going to be full of 5-year-olds. He's going, I don't care.
They're all going to get put in their place, aren't they?
They're all, yeah. So, but he's got all the all the timelines and things and that. And I'm going, like I remember going to Star Wars and seeing that first one, and I was just a young guy. But my kids, who were not even a glimmer of light in anyone's mind when Star Wars started, both of them are interested. The oldest is over the top. So the way this comes in is because Disney Plus, as we know, we've had The Mandalorian, we've had the Boba Fett, now we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi. And what has Volkswagen done? They've come out with they've created Obi-Wan Kenobi inspired ID buzz vans. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
How right.
It's just
I don't watch it, so I don't know, and I've never watched a single one of them. Not even to the point where I could even say I've watched one and turned it off.
It's just they've just played around with some coloring, they've played around with a few decals, they've played around with some, tire covers, and maybe they've put some graphic inside.
Look, everybody knows I'm a VW guy.
I know, and that VW is beautiful.
I do like the ID bus, to be fair.
Yeah.
But they should have kept the rainbow camouflage that they were driving it around in as a permanent fixture, to be fair. Definitely.
But what a great idea. And it's just a lot of automotive companies and, doing things, tying up with popular series and doing the Kenobi.
Good marketing,
yeah,
I suppose.
That's all it is.
I mean, the thing is, who are they expecting to buy this?
Yeah. Well,
because a proper VW bus follower, fan, owner are not going to be happy about having an electric one. Surely. Like the true hardcore hippie.
Yeah, like this is well, you know what? This is geared at the hippie who's now grown up.
The child of the hippie.
A child of the hippie who's thinking, hey, you know what? It's Gen Z who's aspiring now to have one of these.
I mean, I love the VW Transporters and always have and always will. And I've got nothing against having an electric one. Absolutely nothing against it. And I don't know why, with the way you can store electricity now and the advances in solar panels and wind generation, I don't know why they haven't done a retrofit to the Transporter before this.
Yes.
And maybe they will. They will.
Listen to this. 2 models represent the famed dichotomy of the Star Wars world. The light side edition, based on the passenger ID Buzz model, is a combination of the Jedi tunic beige on the bottom and droid chrome on the top, separated by a blue line and blue tinted windows that represents Obi-Wan's lightsaber. Chrome. That's the piece. Chrome.
That's the worry. See, there's no reason for it to be chrome. Everything, you don't have chrome on cars now. It's just all light strips. There's no chrome anywhere. It's just lights.
So the point being, a lot of hookups with car companies, and you get the great question. They're clearly not going to make a bajillion of these, but there are going to be a few folks who dive in on this. They're going to go,
But then
I just love Star Wars.
Star Wars collectors, are they going to buy one?
Yeah, for sure.
They're all going
to want one. They're all going to aspire to this. It's just like, okay, I need it.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. I mean, look, when we were apprentices, we had one of the Torans that was used by Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, which was the Hulk one.
Nice.
We had one of the prop cars in at the training centre, and I mean that was just purely for visual. It didn't function. It didn't have any of the stuff in it that the one in the film had. It was just an external visual one, and it was cool to know how it came about and understand why they did it and what they did and why it was used and why there was 4 or 5 of them and whatever there was.
Yeah.
But this isn't something that's going to be used in the film. This is just something.
No. There's no one driving this in the film. There's no. It's
this is a bit weird.
Yeah, it's just a fanboy or fangirl item. You're a fan of Star Wars. You're a fan of the character. You just want a Star Wars vehicle.
If you like VWs and you like Star Wars, this is all you need.
Why would you do that? Yeah, I love this line. Here's another paragraph that describes something. Both vehicles feature underbody lighting in their respective accent colors and special lettering. Underbody lighting in the wheel wells and stuff. Underbody. It only got better. Chrome on the top if you get the droid version, and underbody lighting.
It just got worse.
If you're into the Sith, into the Darth Vader, it's going to be red and ominous.
So what's the difference then? Why is one red and one blue and one black and one white?
Because one, you've got the Obi-Wan on the good side, the Jedi, then you've got the dark side. Because you might be into, Darth Vader.
I mean, the black one looks better.
That's the Sith.
That's a fact. But I don't know. I think it's...
You get in and it goes...
I don't know about that. Maybe that's the noise the AC blower makes.
I think you get all your ways directions by Darth Vader.
Hopefully you do. Then it's really worth it. Then they've not... in fact, if that's not true, they've missed out there, haven't they?
Yeah. So it was actually kind of... And we were going to go back to, just for a second, no spoilers here either, talking about the Obi-Wan on Disney Plus, and tuned into the very first episode, and they start things off. Maybe the best bring you up to speed couple of minutes at the start of a series ever to help you figure out where does this particular point of Obi-Wan Kenobi's life, where are we? And what's going on? And how does this all work? And who are the characters? And it was so fast and so on the spot that you actually could... You didn't have to know who the characters were. If you did, even better. It was like, oh, look at this. But if you didn't, it was, hey, here we go. I get where we are. I get what's going on. I get what's happening. It was spectacular. And there's a lot to go with there. But here's the thing about Star Wars. And it's the do your mind in, right? So we're talking space, right? They've got lightsabers. They've got spacecraft. Where Obi-Wan finds himself on Tatooine. He's got a job. We're not going to talk about the job. But where is he working? Because he's blending in. He's working
Starbucks.
On an assembly line that's harvesting, and the Star Wars aficionados will tell me what it is. But let's just say it's some animal like a whale or whatever that's on land that's dead, and they've got a meat harvesting operation going on. And they're just cutting things with knives, and it's coming up on this conveyor belt. So very old school, yet it's new school. It's like
this isn't Earth. This is some other distant galaxy.
Planet. Yeah.
Well, fair play.
Yeah, but there's all the modern stuff, security stuff, and then just got the knife out and they're just cutting up things, and it's
still using knives.
Oh yeah, it's not some laser cutter.
Why? No, he can just get his lightsaber out. Yeah, got like a pocket version, like a Leatherman version.
You think? Yeah, you think it's hilarious. hilarious.
Oh, it's like Moby Dick meets.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.